You're at a funeral. The room is quiet, heavy, and somber. And then, suddenly, you hear it. Someone laughs. Not a little chuckle, but a real, uncontrollable laugh. Your first thought might be shock, or even anger. How could they? Is this some kind of sick joke? But what if I told you that laugh isn't a sign of disrespect, immaturity, or cruelty? It's a sign of a brain pushed to its absolute limit. Today, we're diving into the complex psychology behind why some people laugh in the face of tragedy, and why this surprising reaction is deeply, fundamentally human. Let's start with the brain. Your nervous system is like an electrical grid. It can handle a certain amount of emotional voltage, but when the current gets too strong, the circuits start to overload. Intense grief, profound shock, deep sadness, these emotions send a massive surge through your system. The brain, desperately trying to cope, looks for any available release valve. Now, here's the fascinating part. The neural pathways in your brain that process crying are located right next to the ones that process laughing. They're neighbors. When one circuit is completely flooded with an emotion like grief, the energy can literally spill over into the adjacent circuit for laughter. Neurologists call this emotional overflow or a pseudoppelber effect. It's not a conscious choice. The brain isn't thinking, I should laugh now. It's an automatic, biological response to being completely overwhelmed. It's the neurological equivalent of a dam breaking. The person experiencing it feels just as confused and horrified as everyone else because they are not in control. Their brain is simply trying to vent an unbearable amount of emotional pressure. Beyond the pure biology, laughter can also be a powerful psychological defense mechanism. Think about the feelings that often accompany grief: powerlessness, helplessness, and a sense of being completely overwhelmed by the situation. In those moments, your mind can feel like it's drowning. Laughter, in this context, isn't about joy, it's about survival. When you laugh, you create a brief, momentary sense of control in a situation where you have none. The physical act of laughing contracts your muscles and then releases them, providing a physical outlet for pent-up tension and anxiety. It also creates a split second of emotional distance from the pain. It's like your brain is building a tiny, temporary shield. It's not mocking the situation, it's trying to protect you from it. The psyche will use whatever tools it has at its disposal to keep from shattering, and sometimes the most unexpected tool is laughter. It's a subconscious act of self-preservation, a desperate attempt to find a foothold when the ground is giving way. Your body is constantly working to maintain a state of balance, something scientists call homeostasis. This applies not just to your temperature or blood sugar, but to your emotional state as well. Your nervous system is always trying to regulate itself, to keep from swinging too far in any one direction. When you are consumed by an emotion as heavy and all-encompassing as grief, your system is pushed dangerously out of balance. It's heading towards a state of emotional and physiological collapse. To counteract this, the body can trigger an opposing reaction. It's a desperate attempt to pull itself back from the brink. The nervous system doesn't operate on social etiquette. It doesn't understand that a funeral is a sadness-only zone. It operates on thresholds. When the sadness threshold is breached, it may deploy laughter as a counter-regulatory measure, not because it's appropriate, but because it's stabilizing. It's like a thermostat kicking on the air conditioning when the room gets too hot. The body is just trying to restore equilibrium, and the only way it knows how. So, if it's such a natural reaction, why does it feel so profoundly wrong? Funerals and other solemn occasions come with a strict, unspoken emotional script. The rule is clear: you are expected to feel and display only one thing: sadness. When laughter erupts in this carefully controlled environment, it feels like a violation of the most sacred social contract. It feels jarring, disruptive, and disrespectful. And this feeling isn't just felt by observers, it's felt most intensely by the person laughing. They are acutely aware that their reaction is wrong, which triggers a powerful wave of shame, guilt, and panic. And here is the cruel irony: that shame and anxiety just adds more fuel to the emotional fire. The more you desperately try to suppress the laugh, the more you focus on it, and the stronger the uncontrollable urge becomes. It is a vicious cycle where the attempt to regain control only makes you lose it even more. This brings us to a crucial point. Laughing at a funeral does not mean a lack of respect or love. In many cases, it means the exact opposite. The people who have this paradoxical reaction are often the ones who are most deeply affected, the ones who feel the loss most acutely. Their nervous systems aren't uncaring. They are overloaded. They aren't detached. They are shattered. We have a very narrow idea of what deep grief is supposed to look like: silent tears, a somber expression, quiet contemplation. But intense emotion doesn't always follow the script. Sometimes it's messy, chaotic, and contradictory. The person laughing isn't disrespecting the memory of the person they lost. Their body is simply staging a rebellion against an unbearable amount of pain. Their reaction is a testament to the depth of their emotion, not the absence of it. So, who is more likely to experience this? While it can happen to anyone under extreme duress, this kind of emotional overflow is more common in certain people. Individuals who feel emotions very intensely, who have a high degree of empathy, are often more susceptible because their emotional systems are already running at a higher voltage. It's also more common in people who tend to suppress their feelings in everyday life, or who grew up in environments where expressing emotion was discouraged. If your mind has been trained for years to bottle everything up, the pressure will build. When a major emotional event finally blows the lid off, the release is often explosive and unpredictable. The body will find an outlet for the feelings that the mind refuses to process. In a way, the inappropriate laughter is a cry for help from a part of you that has been silenced for too long. Finally, it's important to understand that grief itself is not a neat, linear process. It's not a straight line from sadness to acceptance. It's chaotic. In the span of a few moments, your brain can jump wildly between searing pain, fond memories, overwhelming love, and even a sense of the absurd. The reality of death is so bizarre and final that the mind can sometimes stumble into a space of sheer disbelief. Laughter can be a byproduct of that mental whiplash. It's a momentary escape from the crushing weight of reality. It's not healing yet, not by a long shot, but for a split second, it's a gasp for air. It's a sign that even in the darkest moments, the mind is still fighting, still trying to find a way to breathe. So, the next time you witness this unsettling phenomenon, or even if you experience it yourself, try to remember what's happening beneath the surface. Laughing at a funeral doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you cared so much that your nervous system hit its emotional breaking point. Grief doesn't always look the way we expect it to. It can be strange, confusing, and even paradoxical. And sometimes the body just has to release its pain in the strangest of ways. Thanks for watching.